Welcome, and settle in. Let your eyes grow heavy, your breath slow and steady, as we embark on a gentle journey through the quiet corridors of technology's past. Tonight, we'll drift through the sleepy, overlooked origins of a technology so woven into our daily lives that we rarely pause to consider its humble beginnings. Tonight, we'll explore the story of Wi-Fi as the invisible magic that connects your world today, but as a curious, doubted, and often dismissed idea that once seemed destined for obscurity, and where the very idea of sending information through the air was met with skepticism, even laughter. Each detail, each memory, is a soft thread in the tapestry of a technology that quietly, patiently waited for its moment. Imagine yourself in a world before wireless, a world where every connection was a physical one, where the hum of computers was joined by the soft rattle of cables. As you listen, let the gentle rhythm of this story lull you. There is no rush here. Let's begin, not with the triumph of Wi-Fi, but with the daily grind of those who lived in a world that didn't yet believe in it. Let's begin with the network engineers of the 1990s. The air is tinged with the faint scent of warm plastic and dust, the low hum of fluorescent lights blending with the distant whir of cooling fans, and lace up sturdy shoes that will carry you through a maze of cubicles, server rooms, and, most importantly, under countless desks. You sigh quietly and begin again. Segment 1. Why it sucked to be a 90s network engineer. Ethernet cords snake across the floor. Some labeled, most not. Their colors faded from years of use. Imagine yourself in a softly lit office somewhere in the mid-1990s. You are a network engineer, a quiet architect of invisible pathways. But in this era, every path is a physical one. Your day begins before the sun has fully risen. You slip into a collared shirt, perhaps a little wrinkled from yesterday's overtime. The office is a landscape of obstacles, rolling chairs, tangled power strips, and the ever-present, ever-growing jungle of cables. You kneel, flashlight in hand, tracing a blue cable from a wall jack to a switch, only to discover it's not the one you need. There is a rhythm to this work, a slow, methodical dance. You crawl, you reach, you untangle, you unplug, you replug, you test, and you wait. Sometimes, the only sound is the gentle click of a connector sliding into place, or the soft, static-laden voice of a colleague on the walkie-talkie, asking if the network is back up yet. The world above the desks is one of order monitors lined up, keyboards neatly placed, but below, it is chaos. Dust bunnies gather in the corners, forgotten pens and paper clips lie in the shadows, and the cables twist and loop in ways that defy logic. You learn to move slowly, to avoid bumping your head, to keep your tools within reach. You learn, too, that patience is your greatest asset. The work is not glamorous. There are no headlines, no applause. When the network is down, you are invisible until you are needed, and when it is up, you are invisible still. You are the silent custodian of connectivity, the unseen hand that keeps the office humming. And yet, there is a quiet satisfaction in your work, a sense of order restored, of problems solved, even if only for a moment. You know the secret life of the office, the hidden routes, the patched panels, the places where the old wiring gives way to the new. But there is frustration, too. The technology is stubborn, the hum of computers softer, the cables just a little more tangled than before. Log your work and step out into the evening, steady rhythm of their days. the quiet persistence, the patient hope that perhaps one day there might be a better way, knowing that tomorrow the dance will begin again. Connections drop for no reason, switches fail without warning, and every new device means another cable, another crawl, another chance for something to go wrong. And above all, there is skepticism in the gentle monotony of the 90s network engineer's world. Wireless networking exists, in theory, but it is expensive, unreliable, and, to most, unnecessary. In the chaos of signals, the possibility of freedom. Colleagues joke about magic airwaves and ghost signals. We'll gently transition to the next chapter, a story, not of cables and crawl spaces, but of a mind that dreamed of something more. Managers dismiss proposals for wireless upgrades as fanciful, a waste of money. You and those like you are left to your cables, your patch panels, your quiet, unseen labor. As the day ends, you rise from beneath a desk, brush the dust from your knees, and look out over the office. The lights are dimmer now. You gather your tools, let your mind linger here, feel the slow, and as you drift, a mind that saw. The biography of Hedy Lamarr, let us drift now, gently, from the dimly lit offices and tangled cables of the 1990s, to a different kind of Staja world of bright lights, velvet curtains, and the soft, distant echo of applause. Imagine yourself in the golden age of Hollywood, where glamour and invention quietly intersected in the life of a woman whose story, like the signals she once dreamed of, traveled far beyond what anyone could see. Her name was Hedy Lamarr. To the world, she was a star, her face gracing movie posters, her voice floating through the silver screen, her presence both dazzling and serene. But behind the carefully painted lips and the elegant gowns, there was a mind always at work, quietly, persistently, searching for patterns, for solutions, for a way to make the world a little more connected. Imagine yourself in her company, in a quiet room away from the cameras, the air perfumed with the faint scent of lilies and old paper. Hedy sits at a desk, her fingers tracing lines on a notepad, her eyes distant, thoughtful. The world knows her for her beauty, but she is thinking of signals, of radio waves, of the invisible threads that might one day carry voices, music, and messages through the air. It is the early 1940s, and the world is at war. Hedy, an immigrant from Austria, has seen the dangers of conflict up close. She knows that communication is both a weapon and a shield, and she wonders, could there be a way to send messages that cannot be intercepted, that cannot be jammed or stolen? She works with a composer, George and Heil, and together they imagine a system, one that hops from frequency to frequency, like a melody that cannot be caught. They call it frequency hopping, a dance of signals that would one day become the foundation for technologies we now take for granted: Bluetooth, GPS, and of course, Wi-Fi. But in her own time, Hedy's invention is met with polite indifference. The patent is filed, the idea is noted, and then it is quietly set aside. The world is not ready for wireless. The military, focused on more immediate concerns, cannot see the value in a technology that seems, to them, fanciful, even unnecessary. And so, Hedy returns to her films, to the world that understands her only as a star. But in the quiet moments, she continues to invent improving traffic lights, designing new tablet shapes, always searching for the next connection, the next solution. Imagine her, years later, older now, her hair streaked with silver, her hands still restless, still searching. She reads about the rise of wireless technology, about the signals that now leap invisibly from device to device, and she smiles quietly, knowing that her idea, once dismissed, has finally found its place. Hedy Lamarr's story is not one of instant triumph, but of patient, persistent vision. She saw, in the chaos of the world, the possibility of order, of connection, of freedom. Her life, like her invention, was a quiet revolution, one that waited patiently for the world to catch up. As you rest here, in the gentle glow of her story, let your mind wander through the possibilities she imagined. Feel the soft pulse of radio waves, the silent dance of frequencies, the promise of a world where connection is as effortless as a thought. And as you drift, we'll move softly onward to the next chapter, a story of lost patents, forgotten ideas, and the slow, sleepy rise of a technology that would one day change everything. The mystery of the forgotten Wi-Fi patent. Let us drift now from the quiet persistence of Hedy Lamarr's imagination to the shadowy archives and silent filing cabinets where ideas sometimes slumber for decades. Imagine yourself in a softly humming library, the air cool and still, the only sound the gentle rustle of paper as you turn the pages of old patent records. Here, in the hush of forgotten paperwork, the story of Wi-Fi's origins takes on a new, almost dreamlike quality, a tale of inventions misplaced, rediscovered, and quietly woven into the fabric of modern life. Picture the world of patents, a world of diagrams and signatures, of hopeful inventors and skeptical examiners. Each patent is a promise, a small claim on the future. But not every promise is kept, and not every idea is recognized in its time. Some are filed away, their potential overlooked, their inventors moving on to other dreams. It described a way for signals to leap from frequency to frequency, making them difficult to intercept or jam. But the world was not ready. The patent was quietly shelved, its secrets sleeping in the archives. Technology advanced in fits and starts, each new invention building on the last, often without knowing the full story of what came before. Engineers and scientists, working in distant labs, began to rediscover the principles of frequency hopping, sometimes unaware that the idea had already been imagined, already written down, already waiting. Imagine yourself as one of these engineers, hunched over a workbench in the soft glow of a desk lamp. You are searching for a way to send data wirelessly, to break free from the tangle of cables and the limits of physical connections. You experiment, you test, you fail, and you try again. And then, perhaps by chance, you stumble upon an old patent, its pages yellowed, its diagrams simple but elegant. You realize, with a quiet sense of wonder, that the answer has been here all along. The story of Wi-Fi is not just a story of invention, but of rediscovery. The principles that would one day power wireless networks were hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment, the right need, the right combination of curiosity and persistence. But the path was not smooth. Legal battles flickered quietly in the background, as companies and individuals sought recognition, compensation, or simply a place in the story. Some patents were lost, misplaced in the shuffle of corporate mergers and bureaucratic reorganizations. Others were challenged, their validity questioned, their origins debated. The process was slow, methodical, and often frustrating, a far cry from the dramatic breakthroughs that fill the pages of history books. And yet, through all this, the technology advanced. Wireless networks began to appear, first in research labs, then in offices, then in homes. The world, once skeptical, began to accept the idea of invisible connections, of signals that moved through the air as easily as a whisper. Imagine yourself now as a quiet observer in this unfolding story. You watch as the forgotten patents are dusted off, as old ideas find new life, as the slow, steady march of progress continues. There is no single moment of triumph, no sudden revelation, just the gentle, persistent unfolding of possibility. Let your mind rest here in the calm, patient world of rediscovered ideas. Feel the quiet satisfaction of knowing that even the most overlooked inventions can, in time, change everything. Where luxury and innovation quietly mingled, and where the promise of Wi-Fi first began to take shape in everyday life. And as you drift, we'll move softly onward to the final chapter, a glimpse into the rarefied world of early wireless adopters. The luxury of early wireless adopters. Let us drift now from the quiet archives and patient rediscoveries to a different kind of space, a world of polished boardrooms, sunlit lofts, and the gentle hum of possibility. Imagine yourself in the late 1990s or early 2000s, standing at the threshold of a new era. The air is different here, lighter, filled with the faint scent of fresh paint and new electronics, the soft glow of screens reflecting off glass and chrome. You are in the office of a forward-thinking executive, or perhaps the living room of a tech enthusiast with a taste for the latest innovations. The world outside is still tangled in cables, but here, in these rarefied spaces, something new is quietly unfolding. A small, boxy device sits on a shelf, its lights blinking softly, almost shyly. This is a wireless router, inject of curiosity, even envy, among those who know what it can do. Imagine the feeling of freedom, subtle but profound, as you realize you are no longer tethered to a wall. You can carry your laptop to the window, to the couch, even to the kitchen. But this luxury is not without its quirks. The early wireless networks are finicky, their signals easily blocked by thick walls or stray microwaves. You learn to position the router just so, to avoid certain corners of the room, to accept that sometimes the connection will simply vanish, only to return a few moments later. There is a kind of ritual to resetting the router, watching the lights blink in their mysterious pattern, waiting for the gentle reassurance of a restored signal. The cost, too, is significant. Early wireless equipment is expensive, often out of reach for all but the most dedicated or well-funded. Corporate offices and luxury homes are the first to adopt, a quiet declaration that you are living in the future. There is a sense of exclusivity, of being part of a select group who have glimpsed what is to come. Yet, even here, the transition is gentle, almost sleepy. There are no grand unveilings, no dramatic announcements, just the slow, steady spread of a technology that, for now, remains a curiosity, a luxury, a promise. Imagine yourself now reclining in a sunlit room, once dismissed, is quietly becoming essential. Let your mind rest here in the calm luxury of early wireless adopters. Feel the comfort of connection without constraint, the gentle pride of being among the first to embrace a new way of living. And as you drift, we'll move softly toward the close of our journey, a gentle reflection on the sleepy origins of Wi-Fi and the quiet revolution that now connects us all. And so, as our journey through the sleepy origins of Wi-Fi draws to a close, let yourself settle even deeper into comfort. We have wandered through the quiet struggles of 90s network engineers, crawling beneath desks and untangling cables in a world that could not yet imagine the freedom of wireless. We have lingered in the gentle company of Hedy Lamarr, whose mind leaped ahead of her time, dreaming of signals that could dance through the air, even as her invention waited patiently in the shadows. We have explored the silent archives where forgotten patents and overlooked ideas slumbered, waiting for the world to catch up. And we have reclined in the rarefied spaces of early adopters, where the luxury of wireless was both a privilege and a promise, a quiet revolution, unfolding in sunlit rooms and polished offices. Now, as you rest in the gentle glow of the present, consider how far we have come. The invisible threads of Wi-Fi now weave effortlessly through our lives, connecting us in ways that once seemed impossible. The struggles, the doubts, the slow, patient progressal have faded into the background, replaced by the quiet certainty of connection. Let your mind drift, if it wishes, back to those early days, the soft click of a connector, the hum of a router, the distant hope of a better way. Or let it wander forward into the comfort of now, where the world is at your fingertips, and the air itself carries your thoughts, your words, your dreams. May this story, gentle and unhurried, carry you softly toward sleep. May you find rest in the knowledge that even the most doubted ideas, the most overlooked inventions, can one day change everything quietly, patiently, and without fanfare. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the sleepy origins of Wi-Fi. Rest well, and may your dreams be as boundless and free as the signals that now fill the air. Good night.